George Morgan here and Jack Pinnett.
All the lights are currently lit here on track, and it is go, go, go!
Contact between the Mercedes teammates.
Donoso with a crafty manoeuvre up the inside. Masterclass from the Chilean.
Crucial championship points on offer here.
Do not count out Danny Berezne.
Longe has done the job. This is for the win between these two.
Freddie Rasmussen wins the United States Grand Prix.
Alfie Butcher wins for the first time ever. Lucas Blakely takes the championship. It's Barry Boyman.
Jarno Opmeer is your champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PSGL. It is F2. It is the final round of season 38, and we are here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. I am, of course, Alex Heron, also known as Definitely Turn, and I am joined by my co-commentator, as always, Mr. Tom Knight, also known as They Call Me TK. And we have an exciting final round for you, ladies and gentlemen. There is 1 point that separates our top two in the championship, Riccardo Benzoni and Angelo D'Asensio. Tom, or TK, I don't know why I called you Tom for the first time ever in my commentary career. TK, how are you feeling about this one, man? Because it's been a long season, but it's come down to 1 point between the two top drivers.
It has done indeed. It's been a magnificent season all across our board. We've had some exhilarating races. And now we head to Bahrain, which hopefully will still be an exhilarating race, although I'm not keeping any cards close to my chest on this one. But as you said, very, very close in the championship. Very close as we head into our final round, round number 12. And of course, we got the look at the season 39 calendar as well earlier on this week. So we will share that on screen in just a couple of moments.
Yeah, we certainly do. Of course, PSGL is not stopping at season 38. We, of course, go on to season 39, which we believe will be the last of the F1 24 game cycle before we head on to, I presume, F1 25 for season 40 of PSGL. But that's a long way off right now, so let's go have a look at quickly the season 39 calendar. And here we go. Here is the calendar, of course, sticking on Thursdays. And we start off in the Kingdom of Bahrain, where we are ending this evening. We then head to Brazil, Belgium, China, Austria. Then we have a break week before the final four rounds of Silverstone, Singapore, Mexico, and we finish off F1 24 in Abu Dhabi.
Almost like a rite of passage. You got to finish at Abu Dhabi. It's been the final round for, well, God knows how many years, and it'll be a nice send-off. Thankfully, a long overdue send-off to F1 24.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have our gripes for this game, as we've established over many months. But we've got we got one race and one more season left of F1 24. But yeah, the quickly jump over to the standings as our drivers start their qualifying session. These are the standings, and the two to pay attention to, of course, are P1 and P2, Angelo D'Asensio and Riccardo Benzoni, 96 and 95 points respectively. Of course, if Benzoni does put it on pole in this qualifying session, they will be equal points before the lights go out on our final round, TK. It's all to play for here this afternoon.
It really is indeed. It is anybody's game. I mean, anybody in the top two, of course. Angelo D'Asensio and Riccardo Benzoni could go into the race hard on points, as you previously said. I'm looking forward to it, as much as it's going to be a rather slipstream and DRS fest in terms of the race. Any minor mistake for either the Mercedes or the Haas driver will see them effectively forfeiting the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, they certainly will. We obviously don't know what's going to happen. Bahrain has not been known for a circuit that has always created the most exciting racing, but in real life, of course, it has created a few good races. I remember, of course, Sergio Perez's win around here in the Racing Point. I know that was the outer circuit, but it's still technically Bahrain. And of course, the duel in the desert between the Silver Arrows. Are we going to see some dueling between, obviously, the two Veloce Academy drivers as well this evening?
I think it's definitely a possibility. Luca Rapassa and, of course, his teammate Andrea Giortenzio have been a very strong partnership on their day, but also inter-team championship, even esports team championship between the two of them. They'll want to best out their rival, maybe at the sacrifice of a driver's championship for the other.
Well, we're going to find out what happens because qualifying is underway. Let's get us on to the track. And we're going to see a few drivers already starting to go for their warm-up laps. Now I'm looking. Where is our Riccardo Benzoni? He's actually just coming down the last back straight to start his last flying lap. But should we ride on board with Daniel for the final time this season? TK, do you want to take us through a lap?
Let's ride on board and let's watch along with Daniel himself, driver for TES, of course. Dan in turn number 1 will be the first of the heavy braking zones on this circuit. Nice little tricky chicane to try and start off with. Not somewhere I'd recommend going too wide. Something we have seen in the past. Run up towards turn number 4, tight right-hander, before we run down the fast and flowing section, the entry into Sector 2. This is probably the most important area on the track, because it will set up what could be a fantastic lap time. Of course, has gone purple in the first sector, to be expected for the first driver taking to the screens. But as you said, as you go through that twist and turns, one wrong move can really throw you off.
It really can. And now one of the trickiest braking points of the entire calendar, that left-hander. You can really easily snatch a front right tyre there, mess up your lap and your tyres before heading down the second dosage of DRS. Actually, the third dosage of DRS before a swinging left-hander for getting the power back on and then switching it back to the right. You do not want to let off the throttle here. You can keep it flat to the floor in this modern F1 car before swinging it back to the right. Getting the power on now, and only one 90-degree corner left to handle for Daniel, and he'll set the first lap time here at the Kingdom of Bahrain in the final round. So we come around the right-hander now, clonk the curb on the right. Do not run too far on the left-hand side because that wall comes up very fast, but so does the line, and it's going to be the lap time they're all chasing. It is a 1:26.2, and Tope instantly beats that with a 26.0.
Does indeed. Purple's 1 and 3 couldn't quite best out Daniel in the second sector. He still holds a purple middle sector there, which is incredible to think. So the Kick Sauber driver going incredibly quick. Andrea Giortenzio steals away sectors 2 and 3 and the fastest lap as well. Andrea Giortenzio laying claim for the start of this Drivers' Championship.
And right now that will put him 2 points ahead in the drivers' standings, which isn't really that much, to be honest with you. Riccardo Benzoni finds himself currently in third on that opening banker lap. And I say that, he's now gone to fourth because Sergio Sobrino of the Kick Sauber has put himself into the top 3.
Beautiful lap from Sergio. Purple middle sector. These are really starting to come thick and fast. Ben Marple's leaving the session already, which isn't very great. And we're seeing what is going on with Ben. I'm sure we'll be able to get a status update in just a couple of moments' time. Laps are still coming across the board, though. I think Luca Rapassa. No, who was that just across the board? Was that Tope just across the line? No.
I think everyone's done their first lap.
Was it Nelson Alves? It was Nelson Alves.
It was Nelson Alves. Yeah. And of course there is some... Now, like we saw last week, TK, there is drivers on the hard tyre here in qualifying. 3 of them, in fact. Kian Gordondorp, Richard Jacobs, and Jan, all on the hards.
Interesting that they're not using the intermediate tyres here. They're not pushing them to that level, but they are happy to run out with the hards, of course, with no expectation that they have to run these tyres come the race situation. That mandatory lobby restart really starting to pay dividends for a few drivers that want to take these risks with those tyres. They have the opportunity to be able to do so.
And if you remember correctly, Kian did not put a lap on the board in Vegas, started last on the grid, and had to come through the grid. I don't actually remember where he finished last week in Vegas, but you don't really come through the grid every weekend. But I suppose if you've got nothing really to play for, TK, you might as well have some fun with it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, play around, try some different strategies, think about something completely different. I think a lot of these drivers have accepted that they won't be in necessarily the championship fight when we head into the red race situation. My apologies. That they can take a foot off the gas. They're just turning up to get the attendance points really and head into season 39 on good standing. Yeah,
of course, season 39. Well, right now, me and TK don't know where we're going to be in season 39. for the moment. Obviously, we'd love to stay in F2. We've really enjoyed it this season, jumping up from F3. But it's not down to us. It's down to it's down to two people, I believe, Josh and Connor.
I'm going to tell Josh that we want F4 for next season.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's time to drop our egos down a bit.
Yeah. We've got too high. We need to go down.
Need to fall. We've had the rise, and now we need the fall before it gets too high up.
And then we can go back onto F2 for F125. That's fine.
Of course, yeah. If you guys want to drop us into F6 for the last season, F4, F124, then that's fine. But no, we obviously don't know what's going to happen next season. But hopefully, well, I imagine we'll both still be here for PSGL. When that's going to be, we're not sure, but we'll let you know, or PSGL will let you know in due course. But make sure you follow all the social accounts to find out more.
Josh is always listening. Oh no, the official account is in.
No.
I stand by our statement. I'd be happy with F4 next season.
Yeah, me too. He's going to say in consideration.
We're running on board. 10 minutes and 48 seconds left on the qualifying clock. Ignore what it says in the top left-hand side of your screen. It's not a Q1, Q2 or Q3 session. This is just your standard, your bog standard, short qualifying session. Run through the twists and turns. Nathan, everything beats E-Series. Have to live with that, unfortunately.
So, Nathan, if E-Series was beating this one, you'd be in here right now. Just want to point that out. That doesn't make any sense, but I wanted it to.
I think Nathan is on the admin account. He's just switching between the two of them.
Oh, you think? Is that not actually Josh? Surely he's busy right now this time of year. He's surely got a lot to do.
You would have thought so, but maybe he never has too little time to watch his two favourite commentators take on PCF2.
Well, yeah, that's what I've heard anyway. So Benzoni starting his next lap here, TK.
Certainly is indeed. So is Tope actually up in P2, so it's purple.
Ooh, big lock up
in the first sector. Has been taken away. I don't know whether that's by someone else or as he continues through. But Benzoni's got a lot of work to do here if he wants to take it in to try and take the championship fight to Angelo D'Ortenzio.
Well, let's see what he can do in this first sector. Can he set himself a purple first sector? He can't. He matches basically his first sector to the millisecond, about 9 milliseconds down, but he's got to carry on now.
Does indeed. He's got a lot to try and push for as we continue through this lap. I'm going to run on board with Tope. He's coming through the penultimate corner at the moment, and on the long run down towards the final corner. And let's see where he can put himself at the moment. Rounds the final corner. Where can Tope go? Can he beat out Angelo D'Ortenzio, who only beats him at the moment by a few thousands per second?
Not offside. Invalidated his lap.
Yikes. That is not what he wants to do.
Certainly doesn't. And Riccardo Benzoni is going to go into the middle sector. And he's a 10th up, TK, which is a purple middle sector.
Well, he needs 500ths of a second to try and top out where he stands at the moment. This could easily
Liam Stevens.
Liam Stevens out of absolutely nowhere. Only gets the purple first sector, though, so still lots of time to find in this lap. Benzoni up towards the line, goes fastest with a 1:25.926. Just beats out Liam Stevens by 100th of a second.
Angelo is flying, though, TK. A 10th in the first sector, a 10th and a half in the second sector. He can actually smash this pole position right now, this provisional pole. He's got one final corner to go. And Angelo D'Ortenzio, who is on the verge of becoming F2 champion, is going to pull to the right-hand side and doesn't improve enough to get pole position.
He needed 127 thousandths. He found 107 thousandths. That's how close these lap times are coming at the moment.
Well, Liam Stevens, take a bow, my son. You've split the championship contenders right now.
It's going to be a real awkward grid start. Look at how close they are. 926, 936, 946.
Goodness me. It's like Villeneuve, Schumacher, and the other one.
The game's lying to me, though. I put it into interval and it's saying 19 thousandths, but then when you switch it back, it's definitely 20.
Who was the other one in that trio that set the same lap times?
What, in the top three?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember for the life of me. I am watching a ball with Sergio Sabrina, though. He's gone purple in the first sector here, Alex.
Oh, well, he has been well, he's been very fast this qualifying session already. Set a very good lap time on his opening lap. Can he set an even better one on his second lap here? He will have enough time for a third one as well. Let's see what his middle sector is. He's going to swing it onto the left-hander now. Got a bit of traffic in front of him, but it will ghost, so hopefully shouldn't get distracted too much. Going around the right-hander now. What is his middle sector going to be? Is it going to be purple as well? It is purple. 1.5 tenths up here in the middle sector. Can Sergio Sabrino ruin the party of Riccardo Benzoni and take away provisional pole? One final corner to go for the kick salver. He's going to come up to the line now. DRS will be wide open now, using the rest of the ERS to the line. Can it be provisional pole? You know it can be. It's a 1:25.8.
Still not fastest in all three sectors, though. Riccardo Benzoni holds the fastest third sector. Theoretical best, I'm just going to point that out at the moment, is only about 23 thousandths of a second quicker over the course of an entire lap. 6 minutes to go here in the short qualifying session until we do find out who will start from pole position. And Riccardo Benzoni, Angelo D'Ortenzio split by Liam Stevens. They'll start on separate row of the grids at the moment, and this is going to be a fascinating end to what has been a thrilling season.
It certainly will be. Now, if you're Riccardo Benzoni here, TK, in your head, you know you're 1 point behind. Do you really want that 1 point to tie it up, or do you just want to start ahead of Angelo?
I think you want to start ahead realistically, but we'll see what happens. Gabriel Quintino goes fifth fastest as well.
So he does. Keegan Gordon's also retiring, along with Rishan Jacobs a couple of minutes ago. So they just wanted to get their laps done on those hard tyres and go into the race, well, with, I guess, more knowledge of the hard running.
Maybe we're seeing some penalties coming through for drivers. I'm not 100% sure on what's going on with that one.
Not sure indeed. Now, keeping an eye on the lap times that are coming thick and fast now. Some people are slightly out of sync with the rest of the crew. Tope about to finish a lap. And once again, they invalidate on the final corner. Jerry Van Bussel goes across the line, goes 9th fastest. And Tope back into the pits because of another invalidation.
Not what they want to see. They're all the way down to P6 at the moment. They still have time to be able to go again, and that is the all-important factor at the moment. They've got enough time to get in, new set of tyres, and potentially go again. We are seeing more drivers coming up towards the line. One of the V cars, I think, of Leo Lund just coming up towards the line, crosses it, goes second fastest.
And Conrad Bohm goes third fastest. The lap times, it's a track. We're seeing some track improvement here, TK.
I think we must be. We're seeing some track evolution. Purple third sector for Sixten Lundhart. He only goes P6 on the standings at the moment, but showing that he can be quick over the course of a single sector. Red Bull will be next up towards the line, and that will be Gabriel Quintino returning from what has been his hot lap. But interesting factoid now for you. Sergio Sabrino holds the fastest lap, but none of the three fastest sectors.
Which does prove that his lap was really good, but the track has definitely improved since he did that lap.
Certainly does indeed. I mean, if anything, it shows that consistency really is the key factor here in Bahrain.
Certainly is. Now, that is, if you had told me, TK, the top three going into the final round would have been Sergio Sabrino, Leo Lund, and Conrad Bohm, I wouldn't have believed you.
No, I think looking at the start of the season, I may have believed you with Leo Lund, who's very quick.
He is.
Over the course of all the season. But I think consistency has really been his downfall over the course of the last maybe 4 or 5 weeks.
They certainly have. Obviously, a few drivers have had some bad luck this year. And Ben Marples might be another one, as he's just saved an almighty snap. Something Alex Albon did a few years ago in the same spot. And unfortunately, well, luckily for Marples, is he did not end up in the wall.
Very, very lucky. That was an almighty snap from that McLaren. I don't know how his wrists must be feeling after that one, because they definitely are a little bit sore.
They certainly will be. Now, TK, the drivers are thinking about their final laps. 2 minutes 30 on the clock, and they come down the pit lane, and are our championship leaders on their way out. Harvey Cohen, he's on the medium tyres. He's not really doing any fast laps. Sergio Sabrino is the first one out of the pit lane on his out lap.
Certainly is, wanting to try and get ahead of most of the field. Dives into the pit lane, does Harvey Cohen, so deciding not to continue that mediums lap. He wasn't necessarily improving on times gone past, but now drivers coming out in their droves. Riccardo Benzoni, Liam Stevens and Gabriel Quintino joined by Nelson Alves, Jan, amongst other drivers. Top A now coming out. You can see the train as they come out of that pit lane already.
And TK, for your final time this season, who's your prediction for pole position?
Ooh, I'm going to put the bet on our underdog, on Riccardo Benzoni. I want to see two drivers head into the race on equal points.
You know, I'm going to go for my pole position. He hasn't been at his best. He needs to come out of the pit lane first for me to make this prediction work. But he's not always been at his best this year. But he is, obviously, our F3 champion of last year. I think Sixten Lindhardt might put it on pole.
I think that's a good recommendation. Let us know at home in the live chat who you're rooting for, who you think is going to get the final pole position here in season 38 as we head towards the final round, the final season of F1 24, the final round of season 38. Sergio Sobrino will kick off our final laps. 1 minute and 4 on the clock as he crosses the timing beam. Let's get this going.
Certainly is, all the way over to the right-hand side because the surface of Bahrain is very bumpy down that main straight, getting the straightest line possible. Of course, swing it through the first corner and ride in the curbs as much as you dare before hitting that first DRS zone. Using about half your battery just in that first zone alone to get yourself moving up through the first sector. Now you want to hit a nice 27, a little bit of rear end loss there in that first sector, and has lost a little bit of time, but is still on track for a good lap time. Riding those curbs, making sure there's no lockups in the tyres before getting the power on before the very tricky left-hander.
This again is make or break on a lap. It's a tight left-hander decreasing. It really tests a driver's ability to trail brake as they head through that left-hander. Sergio Sobrino using all the track on the right-hand side there, not going in a straight line towards the corner, which is an interesting thing that I haven't seen before, but choosing to do it nonetheless. At present, holds the best lap of 1:25.848, as you can see on your screens. Leo Lund and Sixten Lindhardt will not be able to set another lap time. I don't quite know what happened to the two of them. I think they might have called it a little bit late to come out of the pit lane, so they will start at least as a minimum from 2nd and 6th. But Sergio Sobrino comes around the final corner. Can he improve?
I think he's got a little too wide in that final corner, but can he set himself a little bit more of a margin? He can't improve. He stays on pole position and provisional pole at the moment. But is there anyone behind him that can improve? And this is the one man that we're looking at right now. Liam Stevens across the line. He goes on to provisional pole. Liam Stevens on provisional pole, but Riccardo Benzoni, the man who wants that championship, can he take pole position? He's on provisional pole at the moment. And there's only a few people behind him that can stop. Conrad Boom can't. He has invalidated. So it's now to Angelo D'Asensio, who needs pole position, who wants to take it away from Riccardo Benzoni. He's coming up to the line now. Is it pole position? No, it's only P5, which means Riccardo Benzoni at the moment is on pole, and I don't think anyone could stop him, TK, which means for the final rounds of this season, Benzoni's on pole, Angelo's in 5th, and they're equal on 96 points.
Don't count out everyone just yet. Both McLaren still got to come up towards the line. Ben Marple, Jerry Van Bussel can't improve. Daniel, is he going on a fast lap? No, he's invalidated. That is it. We've got an equal number of points as we head into the race. We thought that it could happen, but I never actually thought this could come true. It is equal as we head to the race. Riccardo Benzoni and Anto Giortenzio both on 96 points here in PSGL.
Certainly is exciting, ladies and gentlemen. All the drama we could have wanted. And Angelo only 5th at the start of this race, TK. While his championship contender ties them on points and starts on pole position.
Does do indeed. Benzoni, Stevens, top 8, Sobrino, D'Asensio, Lund, Bohm, Lindhardt, Quintino and Kuija are your top 10. That is how it rounds out. Let's go back to Alex, as the drivers have what we're more than used to now as our mandatory lobby reset. It's quite nice. We've dressed up for the final occasion because it's the final round of season 38. Everyone, suits and shirts at least as a minimum. We may have forgotten right at the last minute, but shirts nonetheless. Well, what are we about to see? I'm going to go to the standings very, very quickly. Just to remind drivers or everyone at home, how it will look. Angelo D'Asensio and Riccardo Benzoni, 96 points between the two of them.
Now, TK, just a quick point here. If, for some reason, neither of them score points in this race, who wins the championship?
That's a very good question. It depends on the countback situation. from what I recall.
So we'd have to go through that after the race, but I imagine they're both going to score points this afternoon. And considering they're both on the same points, whoever finishes in front of the other will be world champion.
You would assume so. I mean, we're not backing anyone specifically. Of course, we're neutrals when it comes to the sport. We don't want any particular driver to win. I mean, definitely not supporting any particular team at all.
I don't have a hat to grab. Just
I did have. Let me just go to my shelf behind me. I do have a Mercedes hat as well, but I thought that would look rather biased to some of our championship.
Yes, it might do. It might just do. But TK, for the final time this season, I've got to be honest with you, man. I've been watching the streams back.
Yeah.
And I know it's been you. You've been when I've been saying the ad name of our lovely sponsor, you've been pressing it to cut me off from talking.
I promise you, it's an OBS glitch. It's probably just where Discord and OBS hasn't quite matched up.
Because I'm going to say it now for the final time. Okay. And it's the final round. Everyone's watching. The world's watching right now. It's final. So we need to have the sponsor's name in the thing. So I'm going to say it now, and then we're going to cut to the sponsor, but they're going to hear what I say.
Okay.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, as always, we are sponsored by GTO Omega. Oh, it worked.
Did it?
GTO Omega.
I think he's wanting something better than that for the final round.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are sponsored, as always, here at PSGL for the final round by... Well,
one final time, it had to happen.
It just had to happen, you know. Now the lobby has officially, everyone has now retired. They all decided to do one lap, go into the pit lane and retire. I will call out our drivers because they deserve that. Anyway, we have worked out the points. Our lovely stats man behind the scenes has worked out the points, and by behind the scenes and by our lovely stat man, I mean TK, has worked out what's going to happen.
I'd say Nathan Richards in the chat. He's just told us what it is.
Well, see, our lovely stat man behind the scenes, Nathan Richards, has told us that if they are tied on points, if neither of them score points this afternoon, Angelo will win the championship on wins, I believe. Did you say?
On second places, 3-2.
On second places, that is a mad stat. But anyway,
If you remember back, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. Because if you remember back to last week, where that wild situation could have come true. It went back to third places, but because I believe Angelo scored a second place last week out, that has actually topped the scales in his favour.
Yes, that is very true, and I honestly don't know how to call this one. I mean, we'll do race predictions, and then we'll do championship predictions.
Yeah.
TK, who's your prediction for the race win this afternoon?
Oh, race win! I'm gonna say Luca Rapace is gonna come through.
Ooh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna go. I cursed him in qualifying a bit because he didn't even get to the line to do a lap. But I'm gonna say Sixten Linhart has got the win here this afternoon.
What about championship standings? Where do you think that's gonna go?
I think we're gonna crown the F2 champion, and his name will be Angelo Descencio.
I'm going to go the flip way for you. I'm going to say Riccardo Benzoni will be lifting that crown. He's looked unstoppable in qualifying at the moment, and I don't think it was Angelo not getting a lap in. That was Riccardo Benzoni really showing his true pace.
Well, we are about to find out in just a few minutes' time as we ready up for what will be the final time in season 38 before, of course, one last time is in done. Now, in the quick track map here, of course, 15 turns, 3.6 miles. It was slightly blurred on my screen, and 3 DRS zones. It is a circuit that can produce some entertaining races and can produce some fireworks. There's never been a championship decider in real life, but can be a championship decider here in PSGL tonight.
No, not at all. It's not the same finale without RC Drive. I'm assuming they're on about Lillian.
I guess so. Lillian's not here.
They said they couldn't make it. I've been tagged somewhere.
I have also been tagged somewhere.
Oh, it was Nathan saying nice little skit.
What do you mean skit? What?
I don't know what you're on about.
What are you talking about? No idea what you're on about, Nathan. There,
No?
Nathan Richards, everyone, just being really strange for some reason.
He clearly doesn't understand comedy.
Doesn't understand comedy. Yeah. Just want to point out, guys, if you think we've been rehearsing that all afternoon, that was all off the top of the brain. Just instantly doing that as always. Academy Awards are coming our way, I heard. But I'm just saying, I'm pointing out, I love George. But I don't think I've seen George do a skit like that on F1 Esports. So, you know, I think he should get started with them. Well, that's absolutely ruined any chance I'll ever work with George Morgan, but it's fine.
Oh, well, we've got 19 in the lobby. I don't know who we're waiting for. Apparently, Jerry Rambussel has had to go and restart his PC.
Had to restart his PC on the final round of the season. He's had to restart his
He's in the
PC.
lobby, so I actually don't know what we're waiting for anymore.
Well, it's an interesting conundrum here.
19 in.
And we are running up for the final time this season. We might get some rain, TK. Wouldn't that be exciting?
You know what? I don't think we will. I hate to put a downer on the afternoon. I don't think we will.
To be honest with you, I don't think I can imagine something worse than watching an intermediate Bahrain for a championship final.
To be fair, I'd love to see an intermediate Bahrain because it's going to be just so slippery. No one wants to do anything.
Yeah. Because I remember driving back in the day into Bahrain. I think it was the short circuit when they had the short circuit, and it was horrible because there is no grip out on the circuit. But I don't think we'll get that today.
I did some
but
races
maybe we will.
With Hayden Gullis on F1 2020 a couple of months ago, and we did a wet Suzuka short, and it was chaos because we were in the classic cars, and it was just so much fun sliding through the S's. It was nuts.
Bring back classic cars.
Yeah,
bring them back.
I'd love it.
We need them. It'd be great to have them again. I remember, I actually, you know what? I hold the lap record around Vietnam in classic cars.
Do you actually?
Genuinely, I have it in the Braun GP 2009. I hold the lap record. Yeah, and it's not just me that does it, by the way. There was one other guy that both did it, and we were dueling fastest laps for ages.
Brilliant.
And I eventually beat him out by enough for him to not do a lap.
What game was that? Was that 2020?
That was 2020. Yeah.
I'm gonna go on tonight just to beat your lap.
Just to beat that. I hope it's still there.
I'll have
it might not be the course anymore. If it's not, then I have to go back and I have to reinstall it and do it again just to prove that I can still do it in the classic cars. But yeah, that was so much fun. But yeah, we're still just waiting for everyone to ready up now. You can tell we're rambling. You may be able to tell this. I'm looking around my desk for something interesting to show.
I'll tell you what I did try earlier. This is completely not sponsored. Pepsi Max have come out with some new flavours. I've got their cream soda one, and it is actually delightful.
Is it?
Yeah.
What I tried the other day. I tried because I'm not really a fan of Monster, but like when I was getting a meal deal, my partner always suggests getting Monster because it's like good, like energy recovery.
Yeah.
And I had like this. It was like Australian blue lemonade or something like that.
Aussie lemonade.
Aussie lemonade.
It's my favourite Monster. Yeah.
Yeah, my partner said you'll hate it. It's disgusting. And I was like, no, I love it. I think it was really nice, and I had it. I was like, I really like this. It's nice. So.
No, Aussie lemonade and Mango Loco are my two favourite ones for Monster.
Mango Loco. Yeah.
If you like mango drinks, that is. If you don't, then it won't be nice.
No, I like the Lewis Hamilton flavoured one.
I haven't tried it.
It's a good one. Yeah. Apparently, Lewis crashed his Ferrari in testing.
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah. Hashtag washed.
Right. I'd also like to point out he crashed the McLaren and the Mercedes when he was testing them as well.
He did. He's just testing the limits of the car.
Exactly.
That's what
He's always said he's that driver that will find the limit and then back down a notch. So he's found the limit. Are we going to see an 8th championship with Ferrari?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you know who else said they found the limit but didn't back down? Pastor Maldonado.
Yeah, he forgot to take that step back, unfortunately, and that might have been to his demise.
He always steps the limit, but he never stood back. That's what it is. But anyway, enough talk about Lewis Hamilton. Enough talk about Lewis Hamilton and Pastor Maldonado. We're getting into the final round of PSGL. I thought it was raining there for a second because there was a particle effect, but it's not raining. I can tell you that for sure.
Victoria in the chat, this is like watching a wet FP1 session when no one knows what to talk about. I mean, you're not wrong. But...
That's me and TK's commentary through and through.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you expect.
Right, Alex, so we're going to your favourite cam screen that ever exists.
For the final time this year, we're going to 2 cam plus game. The best cam screen in existence.
Not that it's actually called that on the PSGL one. It's called pre-race.
It's called pre-race, but it should be called 2 cam plus game. I'm just saying, Josh, if you're listening, make that change for next season in the asset package. Sappy, if you're listening, make that change in the asset box for next year. But this is final race time. Our championship contenders are tied on 96 points. And we go for the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5 red lights for the final time this year. It's lights out and away we go. And Riccardo Benzoni gets us underway, and he's a good start off the line. He leads comfortably ahead of Liam Stevens as we race down towards the first corner. Is there going to be incidents? Can they keep it all clean? Liam Stevens takes the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix ahead of Riccardo Benzoni. Sergio Sabrino and Tope battling for position. Angelo just behind Leo Lund. He's actually fallen a place on the opening lap, and Sergio Sabrino is going to dive one up the inside. Tope's going to dive one round the outside of Riccardo Benzoni. He can't find his way through. Leo Lund, on the other hand, might make this too wide going into the S section. Not somewhere you usually see overtakes. He's going to try and stick this out. He's caught the curb on the inside. He's going to stick it down the inside, and it might be an opportunity for Angelo D'Asensio to get through.
Yeah, beautiful move. Leo Lund just holding on there. Conrad getting past Sixten Lundtart further back, placing that Scuderia Ferrari absolutely perfectly. The Alpine of Sixten Lundtart getting collected as drivers couldn't get the brakes on quite enough. And as they headed into the infamous tight left-hander, it is the Alpine that came off second best. Liam Stevens, though, up 1 position, as you said, from that race start. Riccardo Benzoni already dropping down to P2. Biggest climb so far has to be Luca Rapassa, P12 to P8 in just half a lap.
Great start from the other VA Mercedes driver. And for Riccardo Benzoni, he didn't need to hold on to that lead. He didn't need to have a tangle into that first corner. He's ahead of Angelo right now. And as it stands on the opening lap, he's world champion. But there's a long way to go from here. Liam Stevens sets the fastest lap and begins the weaving. You can see them all on this right-hand side here, TK, next to the pit wall. And that's because of how bumpy the main straight of Bahrain is.
You're absolutely right. We saw it in F1 sim racing, and we're seeing it here again in F2. Everybody sticking to the right-hand side, just avoiding any bumps that could disrupt the car. But it's a quicker line through the right-hand side, even when you factor in having to move back to the left-hand side to go under braking. That's Jerry Van Bussel having a bit of a hustle and bustle with Daniel for P10 on track. Manages to dispatch the kick-saber rather efficiently, and we'll just have a quick check on the old tyres. Everybody on the hard except for Jerry himself, and I'm sad to bring it to you, Alex, we're not going to see any rain here in Bahrain.
No rain in Bahrain, unfortunately, this afternoon. But interesting that Jerry's the only one on the medium tyres. He's going to be flying on the first few laps. But Bahrain is known for a tyre killer. It's going to be interesting to see how long he can take those into the race. The hard tyres, I assume, they're going hard medium. That is the preferred strategy in F1, and I believe it was the preferred strategy in the esports race as well.
I think you're absolutely right. That was the general consensus. Most of them split 50-50 amongst the grid. I think if someone had followed the medium runner and followed and had that advantage, they both dived in at the same time. They could have used the DRS from one another, try and pull back to the grid. But now the sole medium runner has a massive task on their hands. Not only have they got to pit earlier than the drivers in front of them, they then have to see the tyres through and try and recover to the pack that is going to be DRS splitting all through every lap.
And Liam Stevens and Riccardo Benzoni are tangling for the lead of the race. And as Riccardo left himself open to attack here from Sergio Sabrino, he thought he had. Luca Rapassa, on the other hand, is attacking Conrad Bohm. And Tope has fallen down to 5th here in the first corner as Sergio Sobrino dives on the inside. He's ahead of Riccardo Benzoni.
Beautiful move from Sobrino, makes the opportunistic move, 4th to 2nd on only 2 laps of racing. There's moves going on further back as the R8G driver of Harry Cohen gets up to P11, jumps 2 positions of both Jerry Van Bossel and Sixon Lindhart as well. But look at everybody still within DRS range. They're just following on from one another. I think unless we see a miracle, those drivers down in the bottom 5 aren't going to be seeing the top spots anytime soon.
Difficult to make an overtake around here at the best of times, let alone while you're all sitting in a DRS straight. DRS and ERS are so powerful in this year's game. We've said it so many times in so many different scenarios, but it is what always comes down to. That is the reason why we are all ghosted in qualifying, because of the power of slipstream and DRS. As Angelo is now in P6. I think top 8, did he come together with Leo in the first corner? Because he definitely was about a second back going into that last lap.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what went on. There's a little bit of hustle and bustle further back. Everybody kind of came together. But they have sorted out their issues, split their differences, and now all once again reunited in a DRS train, which is what we were expecting. But Harvey Cohen sets the fastest lap there, all the way down in P11. There's a battle for the lead of the race. Sergio Sobrino trying to send one on Liam Stevens in towards the first corner. Has the inside line, but the outside line pays attention to him. And he has the inside for turn number 3, and it's DRS for Liam Stevens. That could be his saving grace here in towards turn number 4. Trying to swing around the outside is the Alpine. Sergio Sobrino can't really do much to try and defend the inside line that much tighter. They're still wheel to wheel as we come down the second sector. Now Sergio Sobrino gets his reward.
But not only that, TK, Riccardo Benzoni has lost another position here. Or has he? Because he sent one down the inside of Leo Lund. Leo Lund struggling to get grip in those hard tyres. But unfortunately, the outside line turns to the inside line for the next corner. And Leo Lund is keeping on to that 3rd place. Riccardo Benzoni has gone from pole to 4th in the last 4 laps. Every time he tried to make an overtake into that first corner, he got boxed in, which allows another driver to go down his inside and get in front of him. He is dropping position after position, and the man he is trying to chase in that championship is only 2 cars behind him now.
I just noticed why Daniel's dropping positions hand over fist. Front left end plate missing for the kick sour. Actually more than just that front left end plate. Considerable amount of damage for Daniel for TS.
Lindhart front left end plate damage there as well. So that tangle you saw on the opening lap between the Alpines has, between the Alpine and the Kick Sauber has definitely cost them big points this afternoon. Riccardo Benzoni is dropping a lot of time down this back straight, TK, and looks like Liam Stevens is taking the lead now of the Bahrain Grand Prix ahead of Leo Lund. Oh, Angelo! He's hit the back of the Williams, which has allowed Conrad to try and get in front. Angelo trying to squeeze the Ferrari out, but he can't force him off the road. He's got to keep it clean. He can't afford any damage or penalties in this afternoon's race. Conrad's going to have the inside line. He's made a little error, though, which has caused him to hit the Williams. And there goes Luca Rapassa ahead of his teammate and ahead of a very crucial championship position. Angelo, if there was a team radio right now, help me on it. But Conrad sends one down the inside. But as I said, the inside line turned to the outside, which allows Angelo to keep in front. But Angelo's lost another position there, this time to Luca Rapassa.
He has indeed. Bear in mind, Luca Rapassa, his teammate, has damage as well. Front left end plate missing for the Mercedes-AMG Petronas car. And I wonder how they've managed to do that. Downforce obviously paying dividends for Luca Rapassa. You can see as we head up the left-hander, the elongated left-hander here, that front left end plate completely missing for Luca Rapassa. But it doesn't seem to be fairing him at all. He's made that overtake look like absolute child's play.
Certainly has, and for Angelo D'Asensio, that is bad news as well, because the 1-car gap that he had between himself and Riccardo Benzoni has turned into a 2-car gap, and one of those is his teammate, and the other one, Harvey Cohen behind him, is Riccardo's teammate. At least in the same car. They may not be on the same team, and they may not work together, but it's not good news for Angelo D'Asensio.
Certainly not at all. Lead for the move. Move for the lead going on here.
Lindhart.
As Leo Lund overtakes Liam Stevens in towards turn number 1. Easy move made. But what happened to Lindhart there?
Well, he had damage on his front end plate. I believe he decided to call it a day, and he knew that he wasn't going to gain any more position. Shame for Lindhart. I've cursed him once. I've cursed him twice.
Unfortunate, but when you're at this stage of the season, you know that you've got nothing necessarily to try and recover from. It all starts to go downhill. Your morale is necessarily already in the toilet bowl, and I think it is a fair retirement for our drivers. Yellow flags in Sector 1 as that car comes back out on towards the circuit, hopefully gets cleared in the next couple of moments. We're only on lap 6 of 29 here, Alex. It feels like a bit of a, well, let's say boring race so far.
Well, it's a bit of a chess match, this, TK. It's slow and steady. We have seen a number of overtakes. We've seen one of the battles there towards the back of the grid, Keanu Lundhart and Daniel battling positions, and it is going to be Keanu Lundhart getting past the Kick Sauber driver. The interesting thing here is Riccardo Benzoni has played this to an absolute T right now. He knows he doesn't need the win this afternoon. With Angelo behind him, he's world champion as it stands, but he can't afford to drop too far down in case of an undercut, in case of an overcut, in case of a safety car. You never know what can turn up.
You're absolutely right. You can't stand on ceremony at the moment. You have to be patient in the game that you're playing. Trust your engineer as well to let you know what's going on in and around you, and that could be his downfall if he's not paying attention. I mean, all it takes is Angelo D'Ortenzio getting 2 or 3 positions here, sneaking up the inside. But at the moment, it's his teammate Harvey Cohen. The team's been doing a lot of the attacking. That's front wing damage for Harvey Cohen. The Haas becoming injured and no longer being able to attack the Mercedes as much as he would have liked.
And Angelo D'Ortenzio is absolutely battling. We were talking about the Silverados dueling in the desert, and they might duel once again here this afternoon, because Angelo is wanting to get past his teammate Luca Rapassa. Rapassa is not budging here this afternoon.
Of course, Luca has damage. I wonder if Angelo will be screaming on the radio, look at this, let me past. But at the moment, it doesn't seem to be listening. Luca Rapassa wants to try and fight this. I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe he wants an extra point in the championship, but at the moment, this could be the downfall of Angelo's 100% season.
I think there's going to be some very interesting talks at VA if Luca is the one that costs Angelo. But of course, Ricciardo was also part of the Blockchain Academy. It is, I suppose, the rule is down to race.
I think that is surely going to be, it's going to be where we'll talk to you through the race, we'll talk you through how the season's going to go, but when it comes down to team orders, we are going to take a back step on this one. We don't want to have an inter-esports team conflict. Conrad Baum, though, trying to make a move on the Mercedes, forces Angelo D'Ortenzio to go defensive in towards the final corner. The Ferrari now putting pressure on the 2 Mercedes that stand in front.
Angelo's getting so much dirty air off the back of the Mercedes, but finally Angelo gets in front. Conrad Bohm is also going to have an opportunity here to get to both Mercedes. He only gets one, or does he? Because Rapassa brakes so much later and pushes him as deep as he dares onto the curb, and Conrad Bohm can't do anything about it.
Yeah, top 8 going for a move as well on Riccardo Benzoni alongside the Haas car. Benzoni drops down to P6, or does he? The Williams can't necessarily get the traction out of the inside line. Benzoni spared by the skin of his teeth there as he almost dropped down to right in front of his championship rival. Top 8 stands as the filling between our championship red.
Certainly does. And can Angelo punch through that filling and get to Riccardo Benzoni? He needs to get in front of him right now. It doesn't matter about anything else. The race win does not matter this afternoon. All that matters is that Haas car is behind his Silver Arrow.
You're absolutely right. It's going to be an interesting end to this race. Angelo D'Ortenzio will be yelling and screaming for top 8. Please just move out of the way. Let me at Riccardo Benzoni, because it is just a battle of who finishes higher up on track at the moment. And I think even according to our inside sources, I mean, I'm not suggesting this by any means, but if Angelo D'Ortenzio maybe sends Riccardo Benzoni out of the race, causes himself to DNF as well, I think he still will be champion.
Well, of course. I mean, it depends how you want to play the game, doesn't it, really? But the game might be playing a bit different at the moment because Riccardo Benzoni closing in to that front 3, but not making any overtakes. 2 people in the pits, Harvey Cohen and Daniel. Both of them, we believe, had damage. Oh, a little bit of rear end loss there for Angelo. Struggling with that first sector. I think he might be running a little bit more straight line speed than the cars in front of him, because he's always a bit slidey going through the corners.
Yeah, that's where he can really maybe find his downfall in terms of Riccardo Benzoni. Benzoni's looked so planted through every single corner, even from qualifying to now. You can see it in that Haas car. It just doesn't want to budge no matter what you seem to throw at it. I think it's going to be a question of straight line speed versus cornering ability when we come on to the final laps of this Grand Prix. I wonder if we're going to start to see Angelo start to get desperate. Jerry Van Bussel's dropped considerable number of positions here and has front wing damage as well.
I think bad happened there to the McLaren of Jerry Van Bussel. Not had the best afternoon here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Of course, well, technically a McLaren home race in some circumstances, if you want to think about it that way. But Angelo trying to close in on Tope once again. Now, who's going to blink first? Who's going to pull that trigger to get themselves into the pit lane first? It's not going to be for another couple of laps, TK. But if you were the two championship contenders, would you want to be the one that blinks first?
I don't know. Are you going to be the driver that forces the pit strategy, makes everyone else try and follow you? Are you going to be the reactive type, jump in when everybody else in, stay with some sort of security and hope that no one else goes for the ultimate strategy?
He's gone from so far back to get Tope. Sorry for interrupting, but Angelo was so late on the brakes. I thought he was going to go straight into Riccardo Benzoni, but he almost got Tope, but couldn't get the grip out of the corner.
It was incredibly close. I wonder if Angelo now is starting to get desperate. The Williams in front of him doesn't necessarily stand a chance. Riccardo Benzoni, I think, will be shaking in his cockpit. He knows he's got to get past Sergio Sobrino to try and have a hope in landing, or at least securing the championship tonight. It's going to be so close between our drivers. Leo Lund still holds the fastest lap of the race as well. So no bonus point that could come into contention at the end of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, of course, the bonus point could be all that matters for one of these drivers come the end of the Grand Prix. But who's it going to matter for? Because Angelo is still there or thereabouts. We've now seen how much he can be tested under braking, TK. And will Tope fall for it again, or will he be wise to it this time?
Well, hopefully you'd assume he's starting to get wise to it. You never know, though. It sometimes can catch drivers out at a moment's notice, especially if Tope is too focused on trying to attack Riccardo Benzoni here. You can see how close he is to the back of the Haskell as we run down towards turn number 1. I wonder if he's going to be very focused on attacking Riccardo. He might not even see Angelo try and sneak a move down the inside.
Well, they've all got DRS. They're all going to get slipstream power. And it might be Riccardo Benzoni who's going to go for not only... Well, he might go for third place. He's going to dive down the inside of Liam Stevens. Liam stuck on the outside. Riccardo on the inside, but it turns to the outside line once again. And Riccardo Benzoni with a little bit of battling may have cost him a position here, because Tope's going to launch one round the outside. Does he have the grip? Does he have the ability? We know he has the ability. Does the car have it as well? He certainly doesn't at the moment, because Riccardo Benzoni just stays in fourth. But he is under severe pressure right now, TK.
He really is. D'Angelo down the inside, looks for an opportunistic move, sees the Williams just moving out of the way enough and thinks, you know what, I'm going to send it there. Angelo D'Ortenzio will try and swing around the outside of this difficult left-hander. Is the Williams going to be able to get stopped quick enough? Why is he pushed to the exit of the corner? He's got DRS. Surely now Angelo D'Ortenzio has a little bit of safety. Tope surely might have to go for a dive. No, slots in behind our two championship protagonists. Our 4 and 5 on track, Riccardo Benzoni, Angelo D'Ortenzio, are just one car apart, less than a full car width.
Well, if there was ever a championship winning move, TK, that might have been just that. But he's still got a long way to go, because now the real championship fight begins. It's Angelo, it's Benzoni. They are neck and toe together. Who is going to come out on top? We've still got so many laps left of this race as we race down towards the first corner once again.
Let's see if there's any opportunistic moves. Angelo D'Ortenzio biding his time. No lead change at the front of the race either. Everybody just being patient. Moves made further back as Gabriel Quintino loses out to Rashan Jacobs. Yellow flag further back. Jerry Van Bossel. No, that was his teammate Ben Marples, I think, causing that yellow flag. A lot of damage on that Papaya McLaren, but fortunately not enough to bring out a safety car. It looks like Harvey Cohen has double pit already. As we can see, yeah, 2 stops for the RAG driver.
Yeah, 2 stops for Harvey Cohen. Not the best right now. Tope trying to do what Angelo did on the last lap. Tries to dive it around the outside of the Mercedes, but can't do it on this occasion. Angelo is not closing in as much on Riccardo Benzoni as I would have thought on these 2 laps, but he took a little bit of time behind Tope. It's going to take a little bit of time behind Benzoni. We only are on lap 12, of course. The one thing you don't want to be doing, TK, is want to be the one in front with the DRS behind you.
No, not at all. That's going to be the game-changing plan for the end of the race. You don't want to head on to that final lap.
Red
I think
flag.
Ben Marples, you keep saying red flag.
What?
Yeah, it sounds to me like you're saying red flag in my ear.
I'm saying yellow. I'm definitely saying yellow flag. Trust me. If there was a red flag, you'd know about it.
That's what I was thinking. I was very confused about it. But Ben Marples really not having the best time out there at the moment. Too much damage to the front wing, and I think there will be an early retirement for the McLaren driver.
Well, here comes the Mercedes of Angelo Di Cenzio. Is he closing in enough? Is he closing in enough? Will he go for it down the inside? He doesn't go for it, but the one who does go for it is Toppe, who's fired it around the outside. Angelo caught napping by the Williams driver there, who's got himself into 5th place, but Angelo's not going to take that lying down. He's going to try and launch it around the outside. Where did Toppe come from? Angelo might be thinking the same thing, and it's going to cost him big. Oh, is that little bit of a tap there as Ben Marples does retire, but Angelo's been absolutely mugged off there by Toppe.
I wonder if we'll see a few complaints from VA there. Toppe, I think, maybe pushed Angelo to the extreme limit, didn't leave the room on the outside of the corner, but of course that will be up to the stewards, and that will be seen at the end of the Grand Prix. That's not up to us to determine, and certainly wouldn't want it to be, but Angelo Di Cenzio, I don't think will want to win this in the stewards room. He'll want to win this on the track. We still have got 16 laps when we cross the start-finish line next time around. It feels like we're going to be going for all of eternity here, Alex.
It certainly does. But I want to say, TK, we knew Bahrain may not be the most exciting wheel-to-wheel all the time, but we have seen some good overtakes here this afternoon.
We have done it. There's been some fantastic opportunistic moves, seen gaps where I probably would never have seen a gap made before. They've sent their car down the inside, and 9 times out of 10 got the move done fairly successfully.
They certainly have, and now Angelo Di Cenzio will have another opportunity to get Toppe. Can Toppe get in front of Riccardo Benzoni, or can Riccardo Benzoni get Liam Stevens? He's gone for it from a long way back. He's got a wheel just in front there. Is he going to fire it around the outside, Liam Stevens? No, he will not. But is he going to cause problems for the cars behind? Because it's caused them to be held up a little bit. But he's got such a good exit out of the corner. Benzoni stays in 4th for now.
Does indeed. Maybe a little bit of relief. Well, not relief for Riccardo Benzoni, relief for Liam Stevens. The move wasn't truly on. But he did try and send it anyway, but it is just a stark reminder to Stevens just to look in your mirrors as we head into corners like that. Everybody will start to make the opportunistic moves now. They'll start to sense that the opportunities are coming as the pit stops come into fruition. They will have the opportunity to almost reset and go again. The pack will become split as we head in the next few laps.
Big accident towards the back. Guillen's been dropped down. He's allowed Conrad Bone to get in front of a few people. The Aston Martins and the Red Bulls coming together here.
Wow, interesting to see. I can't see much damage, fortunately, on the cars, apart from Gabriel Quintino, who's missing front left end plate. Front right end plate on his car. And Conrad's got a 10-second penalty for corner cutting and gaining a place.
Yeah, he had to go off circuit to avoid the incident, and I assume that one will be looked to the stewards, and hopefully, for Conrad's sake, will be removed, because from my perspective, he didn't do anything wrong there.
Well, you say that, but he'll have to serve it in his pit stop, so I don't think they can be removed.
Yeah, true. True, they can't add the time back on, because you never know where he would have finished otherwise. As here comes the battle for the front. Is it going to be Benzoni who goes for another move on Stevens? But Angelo on this occasion does what Toppe did to him, or does he? Because Toppe's going to have to be left some room, but look in front as well. Benzoni may finally get that move he's wanted on Liam Stevens, but he's not going to on this occasion. Toppe blocked in though, and there's Angelo. He may still have the chance of getting in front of the Williams driver. There's been a car's room, but nothing else left by the Williams driver. Benzoni all out of sorts into the next set of corners. He may lose another position here because Toppe's going to fire around the outside. Is there room for the Mercedes to try and make a move? Look at them go wheel to wheel. The Williams and the Haas car wheel to wheel. Is it going to be another loss for Benzoni? It is all collision between the Williams. Oh, he spun round and Angelo's tapped him as well.
Oh, what have we just seen? Godendorf got involved as well.
Virtual safety car.
Wow.
Well, what a circumstance of events, and Luca Rapassa has does front wing damage. I thought that was out. Luckily, Angelo, I think, has come out unscathed without any wing damage, but that was all self-inflicted. I think Toppe hits the Alpine, which proceeded to spin a little bit, and then Williams was hit by the Haas car.
Yeah, we got a lovely camera angle on that. We were on board with the helicopter as it happened. I mean, we saw pretty much the entire instant. Drivers, of course, it's only VSC, so they will have an opportunity to go again. There's no requirement to bunch up, and I wonder if people are going to take the opportunity to dive into the pits, take that risk. I mean, surely you'd be a fool not to, because you'll save at least some time in the pits. Luca Rapassa mistimes it.
And Angelo's going for it. He's in front of Riccardo Benzoni. He's caught him napping under the VSC. And he may even lose a position to Rissan Jacobs here. But Benzoni knew he was cooked down that back straight. And Angelo is right now winning the World Championship.
King Gordondorp got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC as well as combined to worse for Team Red Bull here this afternoon. Andre D'Ortenzio, though, as you said, catching Benzoni napping on lap 16 to 29. Of course, they're all yet still to pit, so drivers behind them will have maybe some opportunity or some advantage over them, but barely a couple of seconds. It wasn't long until that VSC got removed almost instantaneously.
It certainly did, but Angelo took full advantage of the VSC. It has proceeded to lose a gap to the front three, which has dropped them out of DRS now, TK. So Liam Stevens, Sergio Sobrino and Leo Lund, your top three, and the two championship contenders in 4th and 5th respectively, they are not within the DRS range of the front three.
They aren't, and this is going to be heartbreak for Angelo and Riccardo. They will want to try and catch up to that front-running pack, but without DRS, they're going to be as helpless as being stuck in a lake without a canoe. And that is what you're, well, they're really going to struggle as the top three will continue to pull away. Angelo and Riccardo can almost have a mini battle amongst themselves, but I think the question of pit stops will start to loom. I wonder where we're going to start to see those drivers come in. Riccardo Benzoni with the advantage now over Andre D'Ortenzio as the frame rate just drops by that pit wall.
Did not enjoy it at all. Now the question on my lips, TK, are the championship rivals going to become championship friends for a little bit to try and catch up to this front three? Or is it not important right now and they are just going to decide 4th and 5th is where the championship will end?
I think they know they don't need to fight this. King Gordondorp, who was effectively the closest in the championship, if memory serves me correctly, got a drive-through penalty, so they're out of any contention, any running that they're about to. I think Luca Rapassa probably isn't far behind, but again, all the way down in P12, so they're going to try and sort this championship out amongst themselves. They don't need to get a podium, they don't need to fight here. And they're just going to kind of play it easy, take it calm, and see how this race ends in about 12 laps' time.
It certainly do, TK. And on lap 17 of 29, still no movement from our front runners on pit stops.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how our drivers do. I wonder if we won't see them to a lap about lap 20, maybe even just a lap or two before that. Use the mediums until they get to the end run.
Riccardo's rear end was looking very, very loose there as he came over that curve. I remember that curve back in 2020 F1 22. You are not supposed to touch that curve, but obviously with these brand new cars, it is important to keep it on to the left on the right hand side. Are we going to see pit stops? No pit stops just yet. And it's going to be another pass by Angelo D'Ortenzio. He's back in front of Riccardo Benzoni as our front three do swap positions once again as Angelo into 4th place. As it stands, Angelo is world champion, but still we have 11 laps to go.
An interesting one just to mention here, Alex. Gabriel Quintino and Luca Rapassa, who pitted a couple of laps ago now, they went on from the hards onto a set of softs.
Onto a set of softs. Now that is interesting.
2-stop can work here in Bahrain, but I wouldn't be expecting them to try and run it, and I'm surely not expecting them to take the soft tyres 14 laps.
Are they banking on another VSC or another safety car?
Either that or it has to be a mistake, surely, but I didn't expect two drivers to make the same mistake on exactly one apiece. I mean, the P10 and P12 at the moment split, what was by Gabriel Quintino, who's getting themselves all involved with his teammate King Gordondorp. I don't know if that was a mistake or maybe intentional here.
They can't make softs go to the end, surely. In a world where hard tyres can do that many laps, the softs can't do the same. You'd expect so anyway. But going on to lap 19, are we going to see these drivers finally come into the pits? Can we call out, just quickly, the Aston Martin duo in 6th and 7th? What a race they're having so far.
Yeah, beautiful so far. 16th and 18th starting positions.
Benzoni!
What happened to Benzoni?
He went slightly wide and's got himself a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits.
Surely that is championship hope gone. Angelo's gone on softs. Maybe
they are going on
softs. Maybe they're
going soft at the end. But Riccardo Benzoni, a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. And Luca Rapassa might overcut them all, TK.
It's going to be incredibly close. He's coming up towards the pit exit now. Yeah, passes them both.
He does pass them both. He's in front. Rapasa in front of not only his teammate, but also Riccardo Benzoni.
But do remember, he's got three extra laps on those tyres. They will be paying dividends to the likes of Andrea Hortenzio and Riccardo Benzoni come the end of this race. But I wonder if Luca Rapasa has done this to help out his teammate.
Well, it could all be to play for now. Angelo knows, down in his heart right now, he's just got to keep it clean until the checkered flag. No 3-second time penalty for him. Riccardo Benzoni does have a 3-second time penalty. I'll be very interested to know if Mr. Angelo's on any warnings as well.
Well, I can actually tell you one warning for Andrea Hortenzio.
Oh, one warning, which means he's got past his teammate as well. He's in front of Luca Rapasa. He's up into 8th place. And right now, there is a little bit of a buffer between the Haas and the Mercedes.
Don't forget, Luca Rapasa has 10 seconds worth of penalties to his name. I think this surely has to be the blocking move for Luca Rapasa to play essentially a pawn in Andrea Hortenzio's race.
He might do, but how long will that last? Because Riccardo Benzoni may get in front of him already. Nelson Alves decides to call it quits after a 10-second time penalty in the pits. Luca Rapasa gets in front of Angelo D'Asensio. Here comes Riccardo Benzoni. He's going to go for it on Angelo D'Asensio, but Angelo breaks later. And there is Liam Stevens in the Alpine. He's actually come out ahead of Angelo and Riccardo. Once again, another one in this crazy, crazy wrap. And Luca Rapasa has got 10 seconds for ignoring yellow flags as he overtook on the main straight, TK.
Wow, I never thought I'd see that penalty. Well, just add it to his collection of penalties at this point, 20 seconds to Luca Rapasa's name. I don't think he'll be too fussed about it because he knows what his role is now in the team. He doesn't, well, he's not in it to score points for himself. He's got to try and score points or at least help his teammate out. And Luca Rapasa has an opportunity here to hold behind Riccardo Benzoni.
And I think that's why Riccardo Benzoni backed out of the move. Because he saw the yellow flags. If he had done the same, he would have got another penalty to his name, and that would have definitely been game over.
That he would have done. It's not a way you like to see, games decided. I mean, don't forget that penalty can get removed if I remember correctly. It can be appealed to the stewards. I'm sure Krypton will be working overtime if that penalty does get appealed by Riccardo Benzoni. I mean, at the moment they've got nothing to lose by trying to appeal it, so I think they will certainly go for it.
Oh my god. Rapasa with the hold-up play. Have you seen how much he's backed up this squad, TK, going down the back straight?
And now he moves out of the way. We'll let Stevens and Hortenzio pass. I think Riccardo Benzoni will be in for a door slammed in his face.
And will he indeed? Riccardo's got to go for it down the inside, but there's no room to make that move. He can't make it past the Mercedes of Luca Rapasa. And Riccardo, if he's got any hope, any chance of being world champion, he's got to make it now, because he's got to dive him. And he does dive him. He does send it down the inside. He's going to force Rapasa wide, and that's a move that may still win him a world championship, but it's very limited indeed. Riccardo Benzoni up into 6th place.
Luca Rapasa's going to go for it back again into the tie right hand, and they touch again. That's Luca Rapasa, an opportunistic move. They're still locked in terms of wheels. Luca Rapasa doesn't want to be forced out to the outside of the track. They're still together. Rapasa off of the track. Riccardo Benzoni off of the track as well. His championship hopes surely now out in tatters.
And you've got to say, that was maybe overly aggressive from both of them. Frustration maybe setting in for Riccardo Benzoni. But it's definitely game, set, and match now. Benzoni will not be crowned world champion unless something dramatic happens in the last 2 laps.
I mean, don't forget, Andrea Hortenzio still can crash into a barrier. Let's not completely discount Riccardo Benzoni. It wouldn't be the first time that we've seen a world championship decided, especially in real life, by another car crashing. I mean, content, right?
Content indeed, but I don't think Angelo wants any content here this afternoon. Riccardo Benzoni, what must he be thinking as Rapasa pulls into the pits, retires? He knows in his heart, TK, his work is done. He's
done his job. Whether rightly or wrongly, again, not for us to say here in the commentary box, but he has played the ultimate wingman this afternoon.
Benzoni passed Lundhart down the main straight, but the yellow flags from Luca Rapasa had to back off. Rapasa played one final card before he called it quits.
Wow, this is interesting. It's all going wrong for Riccardo Benzoni. He almost had it after an earlier championship, and now he's got damage as well from right end plate missing for the Haas car. Damage as well. And of course that 3-second penalty that still looms over his head. Somehow he's on 6 warnings. Let me just put that into perspective as well. So surely next will be another 3 seconds to add to his name. But Andrea Tortenzio will be relishing in his cockpit at the moment. Knows that he can surely take this championship fight home. He doesn't have to even win this race. There's been a great battle up in the lead between Sergio Sabrino and Leo Lund. But we haven't been watching it because the championship fight has been so incredibly close.
It really has. It's been dramatic. Leo Lund and Sergio Sabrino, you've had an awesome battle. We'll try and keep an eye on it the last few laps because it looks like at the moment the championship fight is done and dusted. By the looks of it, I think Angelo and Liam have signed a pack of, well, I was going to say signed a pack of non-aggression, but Angelo has just got in front of the Alpine.
They're going to work together. They're going to switch positions. They don't have anything to lose at the moment. They can just DRS swap. They're in a little bit of no man's land at the moment. Gabriel Quintino is all the way back. 6.7 seconds back. Riccardo Benzoni has made up a position on Keanu Lutar and up to P6 for himself, but it's not going to be enough at present. The race lead still stands with Leo Lund as he's passed Sergio Sabrino into turn number 1. 23 of 29 here in the final race of season 38 of PSGL PCF2. And well, what a way to send this off. We thought it could have been boring, but that championship fight has really spiced things up.
It certainly has. I don't think we'll be getting this one. Right, now the duel in the desert we thought was going to be between Angelo and Benzoni, and it was for a little bit, but it turned out between Ricciardo and Rapassa. I think that moment's going to be played in PSGL for a long time to come.
I mean, if I don't see this on TikTok under, what is it, the good F1 League racing content or something like that, I think that's where it's going to potentially end up this evening. I've seen a few clips from PCF3 and mainly PCF1 over the course of the last few weeks. It's interesting to see how it goes. I think there's a fair bit of controversy surrounding what Luca Rapassa or what part he played in potentially that move, in the defence that he had over his teammate. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a steward's report there into Luca Rapassa, not necessarily Angelo Tortenzio.
Yeah, well, if it goes to the stewards and they decide it to be a report not only on Rapassa but maybe on Mercedes as a whole, is that something that can be reported? I mean,
don't know. Then I don't think we have a team's championship necessarily.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, TK, they're all part of the Veloce Academy.
That is also very true. I think there'll be some internal discussions, but they're not in PSGL.
Yes, I would say there's going to be a few conversations back behind the scenes between some Veloce Academy drivers. I think team building exercises. I think. And engineers and management, yeah. I think it's going to be a couple of team building exercises after this weekend. But, of course, ladies and gentlemen, it is not down to us to decide what happens in the stewards' room. It is down to what happens on the track. Harvey Cohen is in the pits again. It's been a wretched weekend for Haas overall now, to be honest with you. Maybe Cohen's going for that fastest lap, trying to take away the fastest lap point. But at the moment, TK, I don't think it really matters.
Don't think it does. It hasn't been the best race for Harvey Cohen. Just to put it into perspective, he's gone from hards to mediums to hards to softs. That's how his race has gone this afternoon.
Yeah, well, this will be very interesting indeed. And with the laps counting down here, we've got a championship fight that is likely to be over. And we have a we have a battle for the win still going on between Sabrino and Leo Lund. What a fight those two have put on this afternoon. Unfortunately, we haven't seen any of it. But we'll keep an eye on it for the last few laps because it has been absolutely exhilarating.
It certainly has been. I couldn't quite figure out which way this battle was going. Tope sets the fastest lap of the race, getting past Keanu Luntart as well. Is he going to go for Riccardo Benzoni into turn 1? Oh. Yes, he does. Tope has absolutely loves that move around the outside this afternoon. Beautiful talent. And a beautiful opportunistic move at that corner.
Well, you know, we're saying like we're surprised about this, but we saw the Williams had pace earlier on in the season, and unfortunately it just didn't pan out for them. But I think Tope, one to watch for next season in F2.
Almost certainly. I mean, assuming he doesn't get anything higher, or even looking forward to some other season. I don't know how the standings are going to go, how the placements are going to go. Keegan Gordondorp and Barry Van Bassel having a good fight further back. Both cars having significant damage, but it's not stopping them going side by side here, Alex.
They've been wheel to wheel for the last about 10 laps or so. I've just been keeping an eye on their battle at the back, and it's been a classic. This is more of an F1 F1 mini league race that's going on between 13th and 14th. They've both got damage. They both are not fighting for points. Just have a little bit of fun about it. That's what's going on there. Now, in terms of our championship fight, Benzoni has actually fallen down to 7th place, and with that 3-second time penalty, he'll fall down to 8 TK. Something we should point out a little bit here, though, is Liam and Angelo are closing in on these front two.
Yeah, they are working together. It was, 3 and a bit seconds gap just a few laps ago. Now 1.3, teetering on 1.1. Look at the pace they've started to find in the latter half of this race. I mean, look at the tyre differential. There's not much between them. The driver, Liam Stevens has 1 lap newer tyres compared to the 3 that surround him, but it shouldn't be this much advantage at this stage in the race. Are we going to have a 4-way fight for the race win?
We may possibly see it. They're in DRS now. They've got into that DRS zone. It'll be really interesting. Now, TK, if I'm Angelo's engineer, for example, let's say this for an example, I'm on the phone to him and saying, mate, your championship rival's down in 7th. He's not going to score enough points to beat you in the championship. Please, please do not send it.
I mean, I'm just saying, bring the car home, aren't you? Don't risk damage, don't risk a DNF, because, I mean, if he DNFs, if he crashes out, Riccardo Benzoni still wins the Drivers' Championship. Let's not forget that.
By 1 point, I believe. He'd score 1 point, would he? If he dropped positions right now?
We dropped to P... P9?
He dropped P9.
Yeah, he took 1 or 2 points, I think. 1
or 2 points, which would be enough to secure the championship no matter what. So, Angelo, for the sake of your team and making sure they don't have a heart attack, bring it home safe.
Yeah, Will Gibson at the moment is clutching onto a cushion near him because he knows he wants to bring Launcher Academy the driver's title in PCF2, and I think he'll be hoping that this race ends rather swiftly.
As Angelo goes for a little bit of a late break on the Alpine car of top 8, and he's actually right up behind him. He's pushing him through the corner pretty much, and the DRS flapping towards Angelo, saying, "Hold on, mate. We'll get them. Don't worry. Just keep it calm for a while, yeah."
That was some bumper drafting we see. Now that's NASCAR technique that we've just seen in F1 down the second straight.
From the championship elect, he is bump car drafting with 3 laps to go.
I don't quite know what Liam Stevens was doing. Maybe, as you said, signalling him, saying, "Stop doing this. We've still got it. Just give me time to make a move."
I think that's literally what he was saying. That was a coded message of "please stop."
It was either bad Morse code or Morse code that no one's going to be able to interpret that quickly. Linus, quite rightly saying in chat, how have they caught up? They've been working together rather subtly over the last few laps. We're going to head on to the penultimate lap here, Alex, with a 4-way fight for the race win. And, as you said, championship elect down in up in P4, who can just sit behind our front 3.
He can, but he's not going to, DK. He's a racer. He's a racer about to be crowned world champion. He wants to be on the top step of the podium to be crowned world champion with 1 lap to go. Is it risky? Oh, you're damn right it is, but it's going to be good fun. It's 3-way into the first corner, and Angelo's going to fire it around the outside of Sergio Sobrino, and he's going to find himself in 3rd place. Sobrino's going to run it out of road, and Angelo might find himself up into 3rd place, or he might find himself in the gravel trap. Sergio brakes later, but will he have the grip to keep that? He certainly does. Angelo stays in 4th, but my heart would have been in my mouth if that was my racing driver.
Well, I think he thought about it for about half a second there, saw the opportunity on Sergio Sobrino, but didn't want to risk having, a little bit of wheel contact, seeing the physics model sometimes just throwing cars out of contention. Luca Rapace has decided his job well and truly done. We're being told last time Sergio won a race was the final round of season 38. What a good way to be able to come back and win your next race 3 seasons later on the final round as well. But I think at the moment, anybody in this top 4 could win it, and it wouldn't surprise me if Angelo Tortenzio, on the final lap of asking, dives past 3 cars to not only take the race win, but to take the championship as well.
Well, unless some miracle happens for Riccardo Benzoni, Angelo is going to be crowned world champion in less than a lap's time. But let's take you through the last lap of the Grand Prix. Is it going to be Stevens, Leo, Sobrino, or Angelo who stands on the top step of the podium. Liam is going to be in a lot of trouble down this back straight. He's the car leading, unfortunately, going into the first corner. Leo takes second place. He now takes the lead. Sergio Sabrina takes second. Angelo a little bit too far back for this occasion. Maybe asked to drop back a few to not cause any damage. But Leo Lund leads the Bahrain Grand Prix with a lap and a half to go. Can Sergio get himself in front? Can he find himself on the top step of that podium? He's battled so much for it this afternoon. He's fired it around the outside, but they're wheel to wheel in this first sector. Sergio on the outside, he's taken the lead on the last lap of the Grand Prix in a place you don't see overtakes. Sergio Sabrino leads the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Beautiful move from Sabrino, one that we've seen quite frequently from top 8 over the course of this race. Swung around the outside of the long right-hander, and this could be an opportunity for Sergio Sabrino to get the race win, albeit we've got another DRS zone and a long straight to contend with. Leo Lund in the slipstream looks towards the inside line. The VA driver later on the brakes to the inside line. Sergio Sabrino with an almighty switchback. He tries to swing it around the inside. The outside line will tend itself to the Kick Sauber car. He can't quite get the traction. He looks for a switchback once again, and now it's all going to be on slipstream down towards the final corner. We're heading like Noah's Ark in 2x2x2, and now Liam Stevens chances his attack round the outside of the final corner. The driver that had sat in P3 for so long will win the Bahrain Grand Prix, but Angelo D'Ortenzio, who finishes in P4, is your season 38 PCF2 champion.
Goodness me, Liam Stevens, take a bow, my son, round the outside on the final corner of the final lap of the final race of season 38 to take the win. Leo in second, Sergio in third, but as you said, TK, Angelo D'Ortenzio, world champion of season 38.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Angelo deserves that race win. I think there certainly will be Stewart's inquiry into the Mercedes team. I think I do see Luca in the chat as well. But that's, again, not for us to determine. We'll run through your complete finishing order in just a couple of moments' time when Harvey Cohen comes around the corner. Actually, we'll do it now as Harvey comes through the third sector. So Liam Stevens wins, joined by Leo Lund and Sergio Sabrino on the podium. Angelo D'Ortenzio finishes in P4, which is enough to secure the Drivers' Championship for this season. Top 8, Rashan Jacobs, Yana Lutar, Ricardo Benzoni, Gabriel Coutinho and Jan Haladej are for your top 10 this afternoon. Comrade Daniel, Jerry and Harvey, your finishers. And then King Gordondorp, Luca Rapace, Nelson Alves, Ben Marcos and Sixton Lintart, your did not finishers.
I mean, what a season, what a drive from Angelo. But TK, you've got to feel for Benzoni there.
You do. I mean, do you look at that it wasn't his fault? Was he pushed to the outside line just a little bit too much? Was there some wheel locking going into action as well? I think that's going to be a question for the stewards and for everybody else in the court of public opinion.
Certainly will be. But yes, actually, there is your finishing order. We've already run through it, so I'm not going to run through it again for you. TK, shall we come back to our faces? And I'll see if we can get our top 3 and maybe our championship winner in for a interview. I'm trying to think of the word interview and I couldn't think of it.
Well, let's see if anybody is going to hop in for a chat as I yeet up just to save some resources.
Save some RAM. I don't like running at 90% RAM for the entire time.
It's not ideal, I will tell you that.
It isn't. Actually, it's running at 95 CPU right now.
Mine's on, well, mine was on about 50-60%. It's dropped all the way down to 510 now, which is much more preferable. But let us know in the live chat how you liked the closer to season 38. So I don't know if we're going to get anyone in for a chat. But Alex, whilst we wait for some interviewees potentially to hop in, should we have a reminder of what the calendar for season 39 looks like?
I think we shall, TK. I think we shall. And of course, this will be season 39, starting us again on February the 20th, of course, 2025, for those that want to be specific. We start off in the Kingdom of Bahrain, where we just finished off. Then we go to Brazil, Belgium, China, and Austria before we have a week break. Then we return for Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, Singapore, Mexico, and we end season 39 the last season of F1 24 in Abu Dhabi. TK, it's been a season. That was certainly a final race. And I'm not sure how we can, what more we can say for that.
I don't think it's right to say any more about that. Just a fantastic race, fantastic season. Thankfully, our final season on F1 24, we're about to begin. We head to Bahrain for quite literally the last time on this game, which is, again, a very thankful thing that I'm looking forwards to. But Alex, a pleasure as always to chat to you. I don't think we're going to get anyone in.
I've activated Angelo one more time to see if he's in, but I'm not going to stress him if he doesn't want to. He is replying right now. He's typing. I'm going to expect a no.
I'm also going to say no, because pretty much no one has chatted to us all season.
And it's been a while since we've had a chat with anyone, actually.
It has. I think it's the general F1 24 effect, unfortunately.
It is. It's not us. People like chatting to us. It's just...
Oh, he's got a school test tomorrow. Will not. That's fair. School 100% takes priority, and I respect that.
Well, you know what? The man has just won a world championship. He can go enjoy school tests tomorrow, I'm sure. He can go tell his friends that he's PC F2 world champion. Now, TK, from myself and you, it's been a pleasure doing it again together this season. Of course, this is our third season together doing it, is it? Or is it our second season? We'll be going into our third year next year, or as long as we're still together.
Yeah, it is third, yeah. Second.
It is third. Second. It's one of those.
It is.
So I imagine we'll still be put together next year, but I'm not sure what's going on. F4 will definitely be seeing you, but from myself, it's been good fun once again. Remember to follow PSGL on all the social media for updates on Season 39, and maybe even updates on the final race of Season 38, because let me be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think this is just over quite yet for some of the Mercedes crew. But of course, you can find us on YouTube, Instagram. You can join our Discord. You can join the Twitter. You can follow on Twitch right now, and you of course go follow the TikTok. You can find us all at Premier Sim GL on social media. TK, a season to remember, and one more year of F1 24, and we can say goodbye.
Certainly can do indeed. From all of us here up in the commentary box, it's been a pleasure serving you over the last few races. We'll see you again in Season 39. For now, it's good night and God bless.